All right, let's now go across to our guest, Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, senior journalist who is in studio with us. Sir, thank you so much. Let's talk about the exit polls. I want to begin by asking you, one, does it come as a surprise to you? Also, what is your assessment of the numbers that have been put out?
Well, you know, exit polls can go wrong, and we have seen that. It has gone wrong in 2021 assembly elections in UP, or gone wrong in 2017. 2021 again it's gone wrong, and 2023 as well, Chhattisgarh, nobody could predict. So it can go wrong, but more or less it has held good. And look at these 10 or 11 exit polls we have done.
Yes.
Not one gives majority to India Alliance. I mean, that is significant. If there were to be one or two giving them, there would have been some doubts about whether
Yes.
NDA will be able to get the majority and so on. And all of them have consistently given more than 300 seats. I mean, it's huge.
Yes.
Because the majority required is 272. And I think the Prime Minister set the narrative for this election by saying 400 par. He said 400 and I'm going to be that. He just flummoxed the opposition. He said, what do you mean? 400? Where? How is it going to come? Where is it going to come from? So, the narrative he built, I think, just kicked on, and that has helped the BJP. And the Prime Minister, the way he went around campaigning, I tell you, 206 road shows and campaigns which he did, apart from the other leaders of the party. Yes. And it is amazing. I mean, for almost 80 days, he was doing about 2 or 3 in each constituency, and I think that would have been a big boost to the BJP.
Sir, you mentioned about 400 par. Just to make our viewers understand, 400 is what you call 400 and across 400. Basically, more than 400 seats out of 543 seats, which has only happened once in India's history. Yes. The BJP wants to replicate that. It wants to create history again. And I wanted to understand, and the Prime Minister said it in as many words, that this was just to give the opposition, to throw them off their stance completely.
Yeah.
But do you feel they've said it enough that it might just happen? Of course, elections aren't won on the basis of a chant, but have they done enough to really go past that 400 target? Because many exit polls are suggesting that.
You see, when he said that, of course, he also clarified that I'm looking at 370 for BJP.
Yes.
And NDA together, it will be 400. And 370 is also significant.
Yes.
Because of the abrogation of Article 370 in Kashmir, and he wants to register that. So once he said this, even the leader of the opposition, Mallikarjun Kharge, repeated that. That has been used in the social media. Of course, it has been used in such a way that he's also saying about something about 400 for BJP. That was not so. But I feel that the way the campaign has been set by the BJP took the opposition off this thing, and it shows where BJP is gaining. You see, everybody talked about North is full. I mean, they can't grow further in the North because UP, Bihar, so many places they don't have. But they're growing in East. West Bengal, I mean, if the exit poll figures stay, then West Bengal, Orissa, and then in the South. See, nobody expected them to do so well in the South. I mean, going by the figures again, out of 130 seats in the South, BJP had only 29 so far. In 2019, they had only 29. And they're looking like they're growing in other states like Kerala or Tamil Nadu, where they had nothing so far. So, so it will be interesting to see how many seats they gather in the South, how many seats they gather in the West Bengal, yes, or Orissa.
And of course, counting is going to start in, I think, about minutes from now, about 15 minutes from now. 8 a.m. is when counting begins. And on your screens, we are also flashing the figures till now, because there is one seat which has been determined. That came from Surat. And that's what you see. The NDA has that one seat in its kitty already. And the rest of the numbers are going to start coming in as counting begins at 8 a.m. local time. And we're about 15 minutes away from that, beginning of the counting.
Right, absolutely. We are also seeing on your screens, you can also see the strike rate. Of course, these are from the previous elections. This is just to help you understand where things stand right now. Of course, counting, as Shivan mentioned, will begin about a few minutes. So now I also wanted to understand, what do you think is the big story this time? We've seen in these 7 phases, what do you think were the dominant issues or the key highlights of this election process?
I think the way the Prime Minister built the narrative. So the opposition was forced to follow him. whether it is about the development issues, or when he found that probably when in the first three phases the voting was little down, 3 or 4% down than usual from 2019. So I think he changed a little bit, narrative, and then took up a few contentious issues, talking about reservation, talking about Muslim domination, talking about how appeasement politics has stepped in. So these issues, again, the opposition had to follow whatever he was saying. So these have been, of course, contentious issues, which usually comes up, during the election campaign. But I was a little surprised because the Prime Minister has never spoken this kind of a language in the last 10 years.
Yes.
Because I thought, you see, he has never made any distinction between Hindus and Muslims. And it was a bit surprising that, he raised this issue and he went on, repeating it a few times. So that was probably because I think he was probably at some point of time he was a little nervous. Maybe nervous because of the less number of voting that is happening. So that's how we are setting the narrative. And unfortunately for the opposition, they were not able to put the act together. They have been working on this for almost a year, and they've been meeting. They had about 7-8 meetings. But all that they do was, agree on the number of seats that they will contest. Each one will contest. But that really didn't happen.
Yes. So the discord between amongst the opposition parties, it was visible right from the beginning, right from the time when they had come together, had their initial meetings. Everyone understood. I mean, it was very clear, and the BJP has stood together behind Mr. Modi. I wanted to understand, sir, as of now, with the exit polls, what they are suggesting, we have to go with the exit polls at the moment. Is the big story coming from the eastern part of the country or from the southern part of the country? Because what we're seeing from the exit polls on both sides is not seen before.
I think so. You see, it could be both. I mean, it will be huge if they, really beat TMC at the game. Absolutely. And, in West Bengal, because the assembly elections are also due in a year or two. So that could be a real game changer.
Even in Odisha?
Odisha. I mean, Naveen Patnaik is in chief minister for 24 odd years. Yes. And then I was reading somewhere, he needs another 76 days to become the largest serving chief minister in the country. It is Chamling, who's holding Sikkim's former chief minister, who's holding the record for the longest term of chief minister. So Naveen Patnaik needs 76 days. Now look at the scenario. Apart from Lok Sabha elections, assembly elections are also happening in Odisha. So the assembly results will also be out. Yes. Will he be able to hold on to power? Or will they be, the people vote differently for the Lok Sabha and the assembly? All these issues, I think, will be very interesting to see.
Absolutely, sir. Now, that being said, of course, I'm just perhaps asking for a premonition here. Do you think the BJP is tactfully galvanized anti-Congress vote as well?
I think not only just anti-Congress, see, they have also eaten into the regional parties. That is what is hurting the India alliance. In 2019, the regional parties had held their stand for a while in many other states. Take, for example, Andhra Pradesh, where they got 22 out of 25. The Congress, the BJP didn't find any place. Or, or in some other places like, Kerala or Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, it was a sweep for DMK and Congress. But it looks like the BJP might, find an entry in Tamil Nadu, which will be again huge. If they can get even 2 or 3 seats, that will be again huge. And Kerala also, they are supposed to make an entry. They have had 1 seat in 2014,
yes, but
assembly, not even 1 seat so far. So that is where, and some of the projections are that they might get 25 to 27% votes. If that happens, probably they'll find an entry into the assembly as well.
All through the course of the phases, what we saw, it seemed like, okay, yes, the BJP is going to come back, there will be a third term. But as soon as that 7th phase got over and the exit polls started coming, it started seeming like a tsunami in favor of the BJP. What suddenly changed? Or were the pollsters just waiting to give out what they had garnered from ground?
Absolutely. See, they would be working for days together to get this kind of numbers. I believe some 8 to 10 lakh, respondents that were, approached. So they couldn't, give out the figures until the 7th phase was over, because the election commission, make sure that they're not given out until the election process is over. It has been building up, and then once I think the exit polls numbers came out, I believe the opposition would have been shell-shocked.
Yes.
They were not expecting this kind of numbers. they thought they were still in the game.
Yes.
And they have not accepted. They're not
They're
been
still
able to
maintaining
accept
that. They're still maintaining
that. And we will have to see how they react today once
Yes.
the actual numbers come.
And of course, on the screens, we have shots of some really nice sweets that we were showing you earlier.
Right.
And we will, as of now, slip into a short break. Of course, these are the sweets that BJP will be celebrating with. They're all prepared to have those sweets soon enough. Counting is going to begin in just about 7-8 minutes from now. We are going to be tracking those developments closely.